You're going to pitch to me your new film, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's called Eve.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thriller, and the whole film is based around our protagonist, Eve, who's a young girl, and she suffers like this terrible trauma. Her parents are killed in a house fire, which is supposedly an accident, and because she suffers from survivor's guilt, you know, like she's lost her parents in the fire, she's on her own, she's isolated. She then has to begin to seek help from a psychiatrist who is called Dr. Clark, Dr. Cillian Clark.
Oh, interesting. So, why did you use that title?
Eve. Well, because it's completely centred around the protagonist, we really want to focus on her isolation, the fact that it's her journey that the audience is embarking on with her, but it's the idea that she literally has no one left now, like her family's dead.
Yeah.
All she can, the only person she can confide in is Dr. Clark, but you find out that, you know, he's not really the kind of you thought he was from the beginning. He develops quite a lot, but it's like she begins to have hallucinations because rather than getting her to deal with her problems of losing her family, of feeling guilty for their deaths, Eve, he just gives her pills. He tells her to forget the memory of her parents, of the fire, just sort of dismiss it all. It was a bad, you know, time in the past. You know, let's just kind of get on with it, move on. She then begins to have hallucinations. It's simply that she's being told to just remember the fire, and I mean she's scared of these hallucinations because she does have these horrific visions of like these people, and she then. We then find out the psychiatrist is actually the one to blame for the accident. He caused it. There's a couple of sort of past events that happened between her mother and him, and it's kind of been his sort of goal to ruin the family and to ruin her. She then, when she finds out this, like through her hallucinations, she confronts him. There's a bit of violence, and then he dies. And then she kind of has to, she then has to kind of pick it up and kind of like move on with what she's learned. But kind of through that, through avenging her family, she's become a stronger person, because in the beginning she's a very weak character, you know, she's easy trusting, and he takes advantage of that and tries to ruin her basically.
Oh, interesting. So, does it have a tagline?
Yes, memory is a curse. Again, it's all about memory, it's about kind of regaining the things that you've lost. So even though she's lost her family, the whole idea of dismissing that and the fact that it's too painful, that's not how you deal with traumas. You're meant to face them head on. But again, because Dr. Clark wants to unhinge her further, and she again is trusting, naive, she doesn't want to face them because it's painful, she just willingly goes for it and just forgets basically. So that's why memory is a curse. Even though it's painful for her to remember, she has to remember in order to sort of save her sanity.
Yeah. So, do you have a target audience that you're like aiming at? Or?
It's probably going to be 18 to 25. I mean, we might. I think it'll probably be a certificate 15 because it's not going to be too violent. Yeah. I mean, it might be quite. Again, like if it's a psychological thriller, it might be quite hard hitting at times because of the hallucinations and the way Dr. Clark kind of takes advantage of Eve and the isolation. It's obviously going to be quite horrific to have to watch, but there's not going to be much violence in it, and if there is, it's mainly kind of mental violence. So yeah, probably 15s. I think probably 18 to 25-year-olds would probably enjoy it more because the character again is similar to that age group. She's probably going to be about 18, maybe 20, and it's just that those people can identify with her because she's at a similar age.
Is there any reason why you chose the form, like the genre of a psychological thriller?
In the past, like chase scenes, kind of, focusing on the violence and the gore. But psychological thrillers are just more, they're more clever. They focus on a single person's journey, and it's got the audience on the edge of their seats because that person is not strong in a physical way. They have to be strong in a mental way. And that's harder because you've got to fight a battle with yourself rather than with the physical person. I mean, although Dr. Clark is almost a manifestation of everything she's feeling, everything she's trying to forget, she has to, in the end, confront herself and confront the idea that she does remember that she saw something that night that proves that it wasn't an accident.